Post or nypost.com. It was published October 21st, 2021, and is titled, I breastfeed my boys aged 5 and 6 in the playground. I won't stop until they're ready. It's disgusting. So, as we know, I'm just going to say this off top. As we know, you're an adult as a parent. You should be the one setting the boundaries. Children do not set boundaries. But this is a white mom who feels like her children should get to parent themselves and set boundaries for themselves, which again would kind of negate the fact that she's needed if they can just tell her when they're ready to do whatever they want to do. Kids don't know any better. They're brand new to the world. How are they going to know when it's time to stop breastfeeding if mom is still letting them breastfeed? It's just gross. So let me go ahead and read this. It says, this mom still breastfeeds her 2 boys, aged 5 and 6. I cannot imagine breastfeeding my 6-year-old. I can't even imagine breastfeeding my 3-year-old twins, let alone my 6-year-old. Yuck. So before and after school, and says she won't stop until they decide it's time on their own. Cheryl Wynn from Wakefield West, so they're going to be 18 sucking on your breast. This is disgusting. Cheryl Wynn from Wakefield, West Yorkshire, England, insists that breastfeeding her school-age sons is completely normal, as it has cemented a lifelong bond between them and made them quote-unquote closer in the most inappropriate way. So this is giving me incest vibes. So the 39-year-old nurses, both Riley, 6, and Milo, 5, before school, in the evening and throughout the night. Cheryl claims her mommy milk is the ultimate parenting tool, as it helps calm the children and comforts them when they're upset or ill. I'm just going to barf. I'm going to barf. I'm going to do it. I'm going to barf. However, the mom of 2 admits she does receive negative comments from strangers and even family members who question if the way her children behave is anything to do with them being breastfed still. But Cheryl says that's children. Ew, I wonder how they breastfeed. Although, how do they behave? Although she'd originally planned to stop breastfeeding the boys when Riley was 3, she wants them to be part of the decision. Oh, white parenting at its finest. And he has said he won't stop until he's 10. I'm sure he won't. Cheryl, a hypnobirthing teacher, said, and doula said, I think about when I'll stop all of the time. Okay, little boy, just get yourself to school. It's never felt right to end it unnecessarily. It's what they're asking for, and it's biologically normal, even if it's not in society. Okay, so we started the conversation when Riley was 3, when they would stop having mommy milk, and Riley said when he's 10, and I told him there's no chance. The choice isn't just mine, it's a relationship because it's something we do together. There's a lot of things you can do with your 5 and 6-year-old that don't include your breast. So the choice isn't just mine, it's a relationship because it's, okay. So it's not like I don't have a choice. A lot of the times they ask for it and I'll tell them to get off. I'm just disgusted. But that's how they are. They love children. As far as pedophilia, not like love children, like you're just loving children, like they love to love children, if you know what I mean. So I do wonder if they just stay on there all night. It made us closer. It's the fact they know they can come to me and be comforted anytime. My children know they can be comforted anytime too, and it doesn't include my breast in this situation. So we can do that without breastfeeding. A lot of people who aren't breastfeeding will still respond to that, but it's part of my toolbox. It's formed part of our relationship, and that's my main drive for continuing breastfeeding. It's disgusting. It's just disgusting. I usually don't really comment on people's parenting because it's like to each his own, but it's a mom. As me having all boys, I just can't imagine. And even if I had a daughter, I would wonder, am I setting her up to become a lesbian? It's just strange. So despite negative comments from family and friends, Cheryl sees breastfeeding as a way to connect with her sons, even using it to comfort them in the school playground. Cheryl said it's about comfort. If they're ill, that's where they want to be, to help them calm down. But we don't live in a society that's supportive of that after infancy, which is why we don't see it. They want to be with me and snuggle with me even when they aren't breastfeeding. I've been pretty lucky in that I haven't had negative comments from strangers, but family members and people I know have asked if I think I should stop. They question whether the way my children behave has anything to do with them being breastfed. They're hard work, but that's children. No, that's your children. And before we know it, she's going to be sending them onto the system because her kids are not going to want to do chores or have their cell phone taken away. I pray they're not shooting up schools. But anyway, so people think they're experts in other people's children, but I'm not doing it blind. Even though I am following my instincts in many ways, you're acting like you're doing it blind because no one else is doing this. So you're doing this on your own. And there's probably not much research on this. So Riley and Milo pick up on people's opinions. My eldest wouldn't ask for it when we're out because he knows other people will see, but he will behind closed doors. But my youngest is confident. Before Milo went into preschool, he was asking for mommy milk in the playground in the morning. He took me to the bench and I had to dig deep into myself. I wanted to tell him we weren't doing it there because people could see, but I didn't want to pass my anxieties on to him. I'm just uncomfortable just reading this. I'm disgusted. I'm sorry. I just am. As a mother, like, I do feel like you should parent the way you see fit. You gave birth to your children, and I do feel like society and the government and random people are way too nosy and way too vocal. But some things are just, you got to put your foot down. Like, no. This is disgusting. So Cheryl was to say she was determined to breastfeed Milo because she struggled to nurse Riley following a difficult birth. She added that breastfeeding helped her to overcome the trauma of giving birth and strengthen her connection with her sons. And there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to stop at some point. Oh, Cheryl tandem fed the pair until they were too big to be fed at the same time. Cheryl said breastfeeding helped me to keep that connection going, and I had it in my head that I wanted to tandem breastfeed. It felt magical and empowering to be sustaining two babies at the same time. I had a traumatic birth, and because of that experience, I felt like a failure. I felt like I hadn't done it right, so I needed the breastfeeding relationship to succeed. I wonder if she has a husband. I know this is random, but everybody, if she was black, everybody would be wondering, where's the father? Well, where's the dad for this situation? Is he okay with this? So it wasn't until I started breastfeeding Riley that I learned what it was about. It was a lot harder than I thought. It wasn't physically bad, but emotionally it was hard. It might have been easier if I know more about it. And see, people talk about black women making their black sons into their husbands. Is she doing this? Is it really about her comfort? I'm just grossed out. I'm really grossed out. So it's hard to give all of yourself to this little person and not give yourself a break. To get to where I am now couldn't have happened if I hadn't gone on to have my healing birth with Milo. Everything changed after that. So you got your healing birth. Shouldn't that have been enough? I mean, I'm okay with breastfeeding, but up to a certain point, because children need to learn boundaries. I mean, even the one child that knows it's not appropriate in public because people are going to look at him crazy, it's like he's already setting his own boundaries. And I don't think it's right to put that on your child to have to set their own boundaries. They're children. That's like too much responsibility, too young. 5 and 6 years old, you should be setting the boundaries for your children still. Okay, so she said, when I was pregnant with Milo, I thought I didn't have long left with Riley because the milk had reduced. But when I had Milo and the milk came, Riley was like, oh, wow. When I was feeling full of milk, I would ask Riley to breastfeed, and he would help with that. Cheryl hopes she can dispel some of the myths surrounding natural term breastfeeding, the practice of nursing until the child chooses to wean. Cheryl said, I don't feel like I ever made the decision to breastfeed. It's what I always imagined doing, and it felt quite natural. I remember playing with dolls while little and pretending to breastfeed them because I thought that's what you do, and that's where milk comes from. That's what I wanted to do. And to me, again, there's nothing wrong with that. I used to dream of being a mom when I was a little girl. And I went to the store one time and spent like $100 on baby clothes because I just could not wait to be a mommy. So there's nothing wrong with that. I just worry that the relationship boundaries are becoming inappropriate at this point. And how is that going to affect the boys as they get older? And so it was a really nice experience for all three of us to do that together. Riley would reach out and stroke Milo's head or hold his hand. And that's how I felt it was supposed to be. And I was a lot more confident with my own body. So I'm still worried about her children as they grow up. How is that going to you know, shape and mold them into young men as they, you know, enter manhood. But, you know, like I said, to each his and her own. If she's not breaking laws, do you. So let me know what you guys think about this story. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.